Welcome to Optimizing Impact of Investible Impact Innovations. Investible, as we seek innovations focused on scaling impact and sustainable development, appealing to potential partners and funders. Impact is our essential goal, and innovation our magic, making changes, introducing new elements in processes, creating new products and new markets. We give you critical questions and building blocks, which we will illustrate, question and quiz you on, and checklists to apply it all. Boosted by Fun2Do Innovation Techniques for even more impact. Every part ends with references, reading suggestions, sources, etc. How to get in touch with us, the link to our feedback forms and your incentive, the parts summarized in post-its. Achieving impact. We have been working on it for years. Alkani as an impact innovator and investor since 2012, after a 20-year career in charity campaigning and fundraising. I am a postgraduate in alternative development strategies. Manu started as a food innovator, design thinker and mastered in creativity. Now working as a facilitator in innovation and transformation strategies. We believe in innovation as a power tool for change, investing as a catalyst, based on impact data and standards. A quick outline of the parts. In Understanding Impact, we looked at the different impact types. Now it's about critical impact characteristics to optimize impact, cost efficiency and the 7 impact Ps. Next, we will look at the global goals, your impact moat, with interactions, material sustainability standards, and innovating for the best contributing sectors. Then we tweak your impact business model, boosting impact going to market. Part 5 on marketing and funding. Helps you build your impact pitch deck. The fact that impact is both a verb and a noun, and both action and reaction, reflects that it is not static in the way it is understood or plays out. Christian Silos and Johanna Mayer wrote, "Innovation plus scaling equals impact" in the must-read Stanford Social Innovation Review. We love that. We agree that only innovation plus scaling equals impact. Coming from philanthropic and civil society background, we have seen too many brilliant ideas and concepts gone to waste. Because they were not picked up by people, communities, NGOs, other social entrepreneurs or markets. We want to scale. So we will show you how to optimize impact using the impact Ps as a step-by-step checklist for impact efficiency. Our goal is to accelerate access. Affordable, available impact innovations. Optimize your impact with the impact Ps. Profit is crucial for impact scaling, to grow, to find partners and funders. Prosperity is profit for all, that's why John Elkington's famous triple Ps now are people, planet, and prosperity. Most important is what you are offering, your product or service, your core activity and its impact, positive or negative. Next is place, where, hand to whom, underserved markets and people. A paradigm is an impact innovation, creating systemic changes. Process, your production capitals, natural, human, financial, network and social capital. And planet, positive environmental impact. Preserving, restoring natural capital, or doing less harm, reducing negative impact such as emissions and waste. Go for impact efficiency and pimp your impact Ps, the more, the better. Optimized impact innovations are growth opportunities. Supporting sustainable revenues and creating new markets. We aim to optimize impact, focusing on the impact Ps. And scale. And to make it a bit challenging. The Ps can be different impact types. An example, to scale as much as possible, your product is as affordable as possible, but durable of course. Your product will have better planet impact if you use bioplastic or recycled plastic parts. So do less harm impact. That will make your product more expensive, less accessible, so less impact quantity. And it might shorten the product's lifespan. Less impact quality. As all natural materials aren't as durable and probably more expensive. How are you going to balance these impacts? Frugal means simple, maybe plain and costing little. Not demanding many resources. We want impact innovations to be accessible, easily available and affordable for many. Bargain buys, to serve many, and scale fast. Not what we see too often: expensive, premium-priced products with fancy sustainability claims. Take the suggested breaks. This is really important. None of my beta testers managed more than 30 minutes in one go, and then quit for a day or so. Speed studying Investible Impact Innovation is very ineffective. Next up is a recap of Understanding Impact Types. But first, have a break. Let's start with a recap of Understanding Impact. Applying the impact types and the mind mapping innovation technique to beer. As beer is the 5th most drunk beverage in the world, it shapes lives and economies. We see how the beer market mostly innovated on quantity, selling more beer, which is not a good thing, as it contains alcohol, which is harmful and can be addictive. And that the industry hardly scaled its potential, positive, product impacts and qualities, but it did lower its negative impact from production and marketing. We showed you the impact types and how challenging it is deciding what kind of impact an effective innovation or intervention should have. The impact roadmap guides to ending or lowering negative impact and to growing and creating positive impact. Companies often start with decoupling, keep growing the company without growing their negative impact, often by prioritizing impact costs and risks management. Decoupling is also about basic needs and impact tech to serve many at low cost. But few, only 10% of businesses, are beneficial, according to MSCI ESG Trends to Watch. So innovators for impact, that's us, can have huge impact. Fixing the other 90%. Help companies stop wasting money, time and energy on immaterial impact. Impact that does not affect the core activities of the business, or it is ineffective. We saw how the impact types affect impact effectivity, how impact quality and quantity affect impact, and that we have to guesstimate them at times. Guess and estimate. We stressed the importance of what data, facts and figures from credible sources to assess impact for whom. Look at why, checking assumptions, perspectives, and how potential impact risks arise, such as very slow or scaling with also negative impact. More on data collection when we dive into the sustainability standards. This is an example of the impact types affecting beer innovations and marketing. I grew up in Heineken's homeland, the Netherlands, but going out in the 80s, it was all about global brands and exotic imported beers such as Corona. From neighboring Belgium, we got doubles and triples, that is in alcohol percentages. And huge pints in Irish pubs. That is triple our glass size. Later came light and alcohol-free beer. Then fair trade and organic, now hip is locally sourced and brewed. New is vegan, gluten-free and probiotic beer. So it is getting better all the time, but only if these innovations scale. Do they? If we look at beer innovation and marketing from quality and quantity and packaging perspective, the picture gets less positive. There are quality initiatives, but did they scale? It seems it is more about selling bigger quantities. With 6-packs, crates, pint-size promotion glasses, and home draft systems. And quantity is exactly the negative impact aspect of beer and any type of alcohol. The more, the worse. Low alcohol is better. And completely without alcohol is best, advises the World Health Organization. That is why we have dry January campaigns nowadays. So people can feel the difference of an alcohol-free lifestyle. Impact and impact types are easy to recognize in the United Nations Global Goals for Sustainable Development and their targets. For example, in Goal 11, Sustainable Cities and Communities. Its Target 11.1 is to do better and good by upgrading slums and ensuring access for all to adequate, safe and affordable housing and basic services. Goal 11's Target 6 is to reduce environmental impact of cities, such as poor air quality and waste management. So do less harm. Using the global goals may seem like we have skipped getting to know your customers' needs and desires. But as it is a global framework for all governments, business, NGOs, communities, and individuals, we are confident that you will find them useful to fine-tune your impact innovation ideas. In the next part of the course, we will deep dive into your impact moat to boost your global goal contribution. Now that we had a refresher of understanding impact effectivity, we will optimize impact and cost efficiency with the 7 Ps. First, we tackle scaling, because only innovation with scaling has impact. Then the impact design Ps. The innovation techniques are natural breaks in the course. Please get a study mate or mates and any impact issue or innovation idea to apply them. Get a real taste of innovating for impact. But first, have a break. Scaling the impact of your innovation can only succeed when you scale your innovation itself, or the innovative product or service. Achieving impact is about balancing, beginning with profit and prosperity. Create profit from revenues, growing organically, find distribution partners, raise funds, continue to adapt to your clients' needs and wishes, and keep innovating your impact. Making a healthy profit will make things go smoothly. If you weren't working very hard to achieve all this, it would be called a perpetuum mobile that just keeps on going. But you know what it takes, so take care of yourself. Creating profit for all prosperity is built into your impact innovation. That is crucial for your overall impact and efficiency with the upcoming 5 impact Ps. Global Goal 8 and 10 embody profit and prosperity, with decent employment and economic growth, and reduced inequality. Goal 8 aims at women and men, including young people and persons with disabilities, and with equal pay for work of equal value. Its target 8.3 is to promote development-oriented policies that support productive activities, decent job creation, entrepreneurship, creativity and innovation, and encourage the formalization and growth of micro, small and medium-sized enterprises, including through access to financial services. Goal 10 Target B is to implement the principle of special and differential treatment for developing countries, in particular least developed countries. For business, this all translates into developing products and services for poor people. Create access, and other word for inclusive, as we will see the Swiss pharmaceutical company Novartis does. Novartis is one of the largest pharmaceuticals in the world. It has flagship programs to fight leprosy, malaria, sickle cell, and Chagas disease. These are endemic diseases, many people have or get them, especially in emerging markets. Novartis raised almost $2 billion with a sustainability-linked bond, that is a loan. Investors were eager, even though it had super low interest. But, and this is unique, the interest payments to investors will go up if Novartis fails to spread access in the target countries. Novartis is the first to commit fully to establishing access strategies across its pipeline, regardless of disease type, signaling a unique willingness to consider access for diseases with high and low commercial potential. That is innovative, according to the Dutch Access to Medicine Index. The index rates, mainly large pharmaceuticals' efforts to improve, yes, indeed, access to medicine for developing countries. To scale the impact of our innovation, we need financial sustainability, profitability, through revenues, costs and risks management. For impact innovators and investors, profit is balanced with prosperity, profits for all. A tough balancing act. To grow revenues and assure net impact, quantity and quality. Next is lower costs without lowering impact efficiency, the sum of our impact Ps. And can we lower risks? Key is, what is material? Most relevant? Fortunately, academia, investors, and large companies came together to make a profitability risks framework of sustainability. What issues are material for their profit? As investors want to rate companies on sustainability risks and opportunities. And companies want to know which risks and opportunities to prioritize. The bonus of it all? Prosperity. The sustainability standards have important impacts for business profitability. It is the financially material, sustainability information on how an organization creates enterprise value, profit. The need for sustainability standards is fueled by long-term agendas, as short and long-term can be conflicting. For example, economic growth and decent employment, or mobility versus climate action. George Serafim, accountancy professor at Harvard Business School, did the research. It resulted in a materiality finder for sectors and dozens of subsectors. But without the impact type, positive or negative. And that is critical input. A negative impact risk is not necessarily a positive impact opportunity. Questions: can you think of a sustainability risk for a company or sector? What are they doing about it? What about sustainability opportunities? Stop the video to reflect. Disclosure of positive and negative impacts is now law in the EU, with the European Sustainability Reporting Standards. In the coming years, almost 50,000 companies will collect and report data. Also about their suppliers and distributors, the supply chain. That can be you. In the EU, the data includes profitability and prosperity, inside and outside impacts. For instance, how they tackle carbon, what energy they use. In the US, the Securities and Exchange Commission now has draft climate change disclosure guidelines. Its focus is profit. Outside and impact, effects of sustainability risks and opportunities for companies. Globally, the IFRS, for financial reporting, has adopted the International Sustainability Standards. Focused on profitability risks. It is self-regulation, but 140 countries comply to it. We can solve loads of impact challenges with small part, big impact innovations, with exponential effect, when they scale. So are broadly adopted by consumers, producers, governments, or all of the above. An effective innovation makes that change easy, fun, and cost-effective. Think paperless offices, keep your own water bottle, water-saving shower heads, cold water washing, lead-in sensor lights, waste sorting and collecting, rechargeable batteries, 10-minute workouts or meditation, weightlifting with water bottles, coffee grind as fertilizer, exfoliator, insect control, hair rinse, fridge deodorizer, pan scrubber, or flea remover from pet. Bill Gates. The Microsoft founder and now focused on the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, shared a short 3-minute video with small innovations with big impact for undernutrition. See the links. Some funny examples of small innovations for big impact. Left to right, appealing popular polling, and avoiding tobacco filter littering. Less stress at the airport, with a simple map everybody gets on their ticket. Keeping the urinal clean by aiming at the fly. And daily weight control with healthy habits. Small innovations are often cheap, simple, but very effective. This checklist helps you assess profit factors. An example: fossil fuel companies with a lot of material environmental impact invest in renewable energy, improving the impact of their core business. Reducing material impact, environmental risk, and that of fossil fuel depletion in the coming decades. Growing their renewable energy revenues. Reducing their carbon emissions, which will be, or are already priced, so saving on their carbon emission costs. Avoiding further risks from regulation, emission rights and taxation, costs, price elasticity. All balancing transition and innovation investments, speed and scaling, with market demand, pricing and trends. The Stakeholder framework helps businesses balance their different, direct, critical interests. Happy customers motivate employees, help attract supply chain partners and shareholders. Unhappy customers means less revenues and having to let go of staff or suppliers as goods are not sold. Protesting communities affect employees, customers, and shareholders' value. Of course, the stakeholders are also protected by regulation, such as consumer protection and employee rights, also for self-employed and contract laborers. The supply chain partners have a negotiating position. Shareholders have a right to information and voting on the company's strategy. And communities can respond to problems and plans at the local level with potential larger effects. I added the UN Global Goals, as many businesses and investors already take them into account, with Global Goals action plans. They inspire investigation of impact contribution, potential, opportunities and risks. An example, a company delivers recycled and bamboo toilet paper, not wrapped in plastic, contributing to many global goals: sanitation and hygiene, responsible production and consumption, life on land and below water. A basic need, serving personal hygiene and health and natural resource friendly. Customers get quality paper and added impact. Loyalty keeps them buying the product. Employees are proud of the product and process, happy, more productive, and stay on. Supply chain partners prefer to work with them. Shareholders are happy with the impact, turnover, and outlook. And the community is happy with recycled fibers, less trees chopped down, and bamboo planted. This decision tree helps you balance profit and prosperity, wealth, employment, and impact for all. Your impact innovation could fly if it reduces costs, reduces risks, and increases revenues without lowering net impact, your effectivity, or your impact cost efficiency based on the upcoming 5 Ps. When profitability grows, your innovation can scale. Check how this affects your stakeholders. Your clients and employees, your suppliers, sellers and distributors, and shareholders. And what about the wider community? How is it involved or affected? Your innovation will have to compete with innovations with, or without, intended impact, and current market players. This technique zooms in on new entrants, rivalry, and substitute products. Your competitors. Use sustainability standards to zoom in on your competitiveness and key impacts for profitability. The iCreate explanation of innovation technique force field states, it is an investigation of markets and the balance of power to identify stakeholders and target groups, competitors and partners, and how to influence them. How is it implemented? Investigate the force field's perspectives. Success factors are: focus on value in the market and profits, its limitations, it ignores changes in consumer income and behavior, firms' strategies for boosting demand, and the role of governments. The model assumes relatively static market structures. The case studies are household consumer products. The 5 hows are derived from the 5 whys innovation technique. That repeats the why question when seeking the root of a problem as inspiration for innovation 5 times. The 5 hows scale your impact innovation. Because a traditional pitch is built on either what or how. What is the unique solution proposition? The product, service, or the way to market it? For impact innovators, the questions are: how can we optimize profitability? And how can we optimize our prosperity? By using the 5 impact Ps. Balancing profit and prosperity impact are the toughest part of scaling your impact innovation. The aim is to assure access, affordability, and availability of a marketable bargain buy. But first, have a break. The 5 Ps of impact were introduced by Brian Trelstad in the Harvard Business Review. The article title, Making Sense of the Many Kinds of Impact for Investors. Brian is a professor for social entrepreneurship at Harvard and an investor with Bridges Fund Management, U.S. The Ps are products or services that have positive social benefits. Place, companies or projects that are located in a particular place or benefit a particular group of people. Paradigm, to make systemic changes or accelerate shifts in markets and systems. Process, business practices such as fair trade for equitable labor practices in a supply chain, or buy one give one models providing access to goods and services to those in need. Planet, clear and measurable environmental benefit either through the preservation and restoration of critical natural habitat or the measurable reduction of carbon dioxide. Looking at Azuri Paid Go Solar, it is easy to see the impact Ps and global goals met. Product, access to smart energy. Planet, no carbon emissions, climate action. Place, inequalities. Process, pay-as-you-go, that is rent to own, by digital wallet payment, and innovation making solar energy affordable. Customers reduce their energy spending by up to 50%, less poverty. Paradigms, forest conservation, life on land, people do not have to burn wood anymore, so, clean indoor air and less fire hazards, better health by no in-house wood fires or kerosene lamps. Azuri's quality and quantity impacts for the global goals are on their website. For instance, for every 10,000 units installed, 50,000 people will enjoy clean energy access. On average, $1.99 million saving on energy-related expenditure over solar product lifetime. 12,000 tons annual greenhouse gas emissions offset. Stop the video if you want to think about the questions. Question: all impact Ps can have different impact type contributions. An example is a healthier snack with less sugars, but wrapped in plastic packaging, distributed by low-emission vehicles, sold at fast food establishments in low-income neighborhoods. So true. Question: some Ps are more important than others. A harmful product can lower its negative impact by pimping the impact Ps, but it will only become a good product when it deals with its core proposition. For example, a cigarette can be produced in a low-income region, creating employment, hiring disadvantaged employees, save on energy and sweet water, use recycled packaging materials. But it is still marketing a product harmful to people. So true. Third question: optimized impact innovations are always expensive as positive impact comes at a price. Frugal impact innovations are very cost-efficient. So false. We start with disruptive innovations, paradigms, or game changers. They can have tremendous people and planet impact. Like all innovators, we can change ingredients or features, the production or distribution. Maybe introduce a process tweak or a business model that affects consumption, after-sales service, up or down cycling and waste management. Or the other way around. We love disruptive innovations. Think of the invention of steam engines, vaccines, PCs, smartphones, assembly lines, protocols. Questions: can you think of a paradigm impact innovation? Is it aiming for good, better, less harm or no harm impact? What about the net impact? How about availability? And affordability? Access? Hint: think of societal solutions, basic needs or impact tech. Stop the video to think about the answers. Innovation is embraced by governments as critical. The Global Goals Progress Report states that globally, R&D has doubled since 2010 and tripled since 2000. But regional disparities are extreme. Europe and Northern America invest half the global budget. Percentage-wise, 10 times more than in least developed countries. All global goals thrive with innovation. Such as Goal 1, No Poverty, kickstarted by a Nobel Peace Prize-winning innovation called microfinance. Muhammad Yunus combined ultra-small loans with borrower groups for risk-sharing and cooperation. It is now a $100+ billion industry, serving over 100 to 150 million people. It has both embraced impact tech of mobile phone money wallets and it evolved into meeting wider needs, as inclusive finance, to create more access to all kinds of financial services. I have added these tech labels to the global goals as an illustration of how impact tech can speed them up and boost access. Think of online healthcare, education, and business meetings during the pandemic to avoid spreading infections. On the United Nations Global Goals website SDG.org, you will find the targets, indicators, and information on the goal's progress. That's impact data. It starts with an overview. Note that the pandemic has set us back immensely and accelerated the need to achieve results. But governments also saw what they are able of when it matters and how fast they and societies can act. For most global goals, updated, post-pandemic priorities are found in the SDG.org overview visual. The Vaccine Alliance was created in 2000 to improve access to new and underused vaccines for children living in the world's poorest countries. Crucial is its fundraiser, the International Finance Facility for Immunization. It issues vaccine bonds on the capital markets and raised over $6.4 billion. The money comes from public and private, big and small investors such as ministries, development banks, NGOs, institutional and philanthropic investors, even retail investors from Japan. Gavi spends the money supplying vaccines to 60% of the world's children, halving child mortality, and supporting family planning and active parenting. The Gavi-IFFIM tandem inspired access to corona vaccines for developing countries through COVAX. That distributed over 1 billion COVID vaccines in the poorest countries. Money, always the bottleneck, became a huge impact catalyst thanks to an impact finance innovation. Trend watchers and futurologists build on game-changer innovations to convince and inspire us, impact innovators, businesses, investors, and politicians. And regulators to assure rapid consumer, worker, and business protection. Here's a few rising technologies and megatrends again as inspiration for innovations for impact. Internet of Things, aging population and youths, automation and the fourth industrial revolution, food security, driverless mobility, cell-based or cultivated meat, hydrogen energy, resource scarcity, blockchain, edtech and infotainment, obesity and malnutrition, cybersecurity and big data against terrorism, piracy and criminal networks, 3D printing of prostheses, vertical and urban farming. Check out themed investment products for fundraising trends. Use the impact P's as attributes for association in the circle of opportunity to spark synergy. iCreate summarizes circle of opportunity this way. What is it? Idea generation through random combinations of attributes. How is it implemented? As a group exercise around different perceptions of the challenges, naming 12 attributes. Throw dice to select combinations. Success factors. Drawing requirements, visual elements, and throwing dice can help provide some needed energy, such as original, lateral thinking, the de Bono way of looking at things from different perspectives. The paradigm impact P for disruptive impact innovations can change the world and are the toughest impact innovation to scale, and scale fast. But scaling means access, and that is our goal. But first, have a break. When we talk about a product or service, it is important to make the distinction between your impact innovation and what product or service you are innovating for. For instance, your innovation helps a healthcare provider become more sustainable but still uphold hygiene and safety standards, or an education platform to become more inclusive, reach more students and tutors from emerging and developing markets, a water company to improve sewage treatment, a fair trade, slave-free chocolate company to launch protein-rich products, a tech company to become more diverse, and so on. Basic needs, products or services, and the core activity of a business should be our focus of attention in innovating for impact, as they are in the list of global goals on the slide. Other goals support achieving these basic needs. We are halfway to 2030, the year to achieve the goals, but we had major setbacks for almost all goals and the worst off peoples. There can be an increase of global poverty for as much as 500 million, up to 1.2 billion people. 135 million more people going to bed hungry, added to the 820 million hungry already. The pandemic proved the importance of effective health systems and the danger of poor sanitation, not washing hands. Before the pandemic, about 260 million children, about 20%, were still out of school. During the pandemic, over 90% of students were impacted globally, and close to 1.6 billion children and youths were out of school. Wholebake serves customers across a range of market sectors, including weight management, sports nutrition, toddler snacking, healthy indulgence, vegan-friendly, digestive health and mainstream, better-for-you brands. The growing market of healthy food innovations. And Wholebake is a social enterprise because of its hiring and training practices. Wholebake is a benefit corp. That is the Global Impact Certificate to look out for. It is funded by Bridges Ventures Impact Investment for Economic Inclusion and Inequality. Because Wholebake is located in the top 15% of underserved areas in the UK, and 90% of employees are drawn from the local area. Since Bridges' investment, its workforce increased by 30%, providing jobs for 30 people, over half, previously unemployed. This was possible because top-line revenues have grown by 36%. Do check out Impact Investor Bridges Ventures' 3-minute video in the links. We suggest adding the impact P's as a fishbone to track low-impact performance and optimize impact. iCreate summary of cause and effect innovation technique goes. What is it? A tool to identify, sort, and display possible causes of a specific problem or quality characteristic. How is it implemented? Graphically illustrate relationships between outcomes and all the factors that influence it in a fishbone diagram. There are different fishbone elements for different sectors: services, marketing, manufacturing. Success factors. It helps determine root causes. Encourages group participation. Uses an orderly, easy-to-read format. Indicates possible causes of variation. Increases process knowledge and identifies areas for collecting data. iCreate's case study is fixing a customer service business process. Let's bring simple societal solutions to developing countries and the underserved. Such as Sama does, with digital jobs in Africa and Asia since 2008. It now works in Kenya and Uganda and partners with delivery centers in India. And from 2012 in the USA, its home country, with offices in San Francisco and New York. In 2018 it had helped over 10,000 people. Last year already over 50,000 people have meaningful income and move out of poverty. Today its mission is to accelerate and advance computer vision AI development by providing the most accurate, scalable, and ethical data pipeline. Sama pioneered new technologies and business methods that harness the power of markets for social good, meaningfully improving employment and income outcomes for those with the greatest barriers to formal work. But watch out for perverse data screening, that is not decent employment. For impact innovators, place refers locally to harsh surroundings, such as mountains, deserts, marshes, swamps, but also to slums, or old dilapidated city centers. And brownfields, old industrial sites, which can be polluted and health hazards. Globally, it refers to many people in emerging and developing markets and few people in developed markets. Questions: are there underserved people near you? Without work, without internet, without heating or cooling? Homeless people? People waiting for safer, affordable housing? Sick or old people on waiting lists? Stop the video to think about the answers. Half the world will soon live in cities, causing two challenges: local overcrowding and rural setbacks. Global Goal 11's first target is, by 2030, ensure access for all to adequate, safe and affordable housing and basic services and upgrade slums. An indicator is the proportion of urban population living in slums, informal settlements, or inadequate housings. The progress here was nil even before the pandemic, as the number of slum dwellers reached more than 1 billion in 2018. A quarter of the urban population. Goal 10 is to reduce inequality within and among countries. Starting with the bottom 40% of the population. Its target 10.2 is promote universal social, economic, and political inclusion. The indicator is the proportion of people living below 50% of median income, by age, sex, and persons with disabilities. Now let's look at a place impact case. Lend a Hand offers loans to investors from €50, with on average 4% interest. Winning financial industry awards for Best Financial Investment Innovation and Best Crowdfunding Platform. Its crowd has invested over €160 million in over 3,000 projects, of 35% women business owners, creating over 12,000 jobs, installing over 115,000 solar panels and almost 11,000 biogas digesters, improving over 1.3 million lives and reducing 370,000 tons CO2 emissions. It joined the Renewable Energy Financing Initiative, backed by Virgin Unite, teaming up with UK crowdfunding platform Ethex. Adding Planet Impact, Global Goal 7 and 13, to its product and place impact. Boosting its appeal for investors, borrowers, and lenders. Disclaimer: Alcan is a micro-shareholder and revolving lender at Lend a Hand. In place innovation, frugality, availability, and affordability are closely connected, almost interchangeable. As poor, underserved markets require frugal innovations to offer products and services at affordable, local price levels. And without disrupting existing markets, jobs, and livelihoods, thus creating negative impact. A place such as a least developed country, a metropole's slum, a refugee camp, some exist for decades, or a rundown city center. Investors call it catalytic capital, for change, as opposed to additional capital, when more impact investments flow to more evolved, mature, organically growing markets. Likely with less risk and lower return. And you are still scaling impact. Think micro and inclusive finance, community development investment finance banks in the USA, renewable energy, and so on. all funding with patient capital for impact and balancing risk and returns. Edward de Bono developed many innovation techniques. This is his most famous one. He followed it up with the 6 walking shoes. No impact without action. I create summary of the 6 thinking hats is, what is it? Looking at challenges and solutions in 6 ways. More proactively than reactively. How is it implemented? Present a problem or issue to the 6 thinking hats. Next, focus the discussion on a particular approach. And after developing a set of solutions, examine the set critically and choose one solution. Success factors. Parallel thinking, cooperative exploration of the subject. No competition. Play with the order of the hats, to get information, ideas and proposals, alternatives, solutions and issues, assess feelings and decide what thinking to do next. Product or service and place impact are core to access to basic needs and innovating for the underserved, wherever they are. But first, have a break. For impact innovators, process refers to production, manufacturing, which goes all the way from the natural resources, cooperation practices, the supply chain, including distribution and marketing, to after-sales customer service. It involves all the business capitals, environmental, human and social capital, the business model and innovation and leadership and governance. And their relevant sustainability standards. Question: can you think of a process impact innovation? Is it aiming for good, better, less harm or no harm impact? What about the net impact? How about availability? And affordability? What about its other P's? There are lots of impact innovation opportunities. Stop the video to think about the answers. Goal 12, responsible consumption and production, puts us on the spot. We have to choose products and services with high positive and low negative impact. So we have to inform ourselves on the products and services impacts. And then choose wisely with our head, heart and wallet. Encouraging production and scaling of higher impact products and services. Not just rely on Goal 16 strong institutions, adhering to regulation to move up on the impact roadmap. Making sure that natural resource extraction does not do damage, that production is safe for workers, and that the people selling it to us are treated fairly. Businesses do a lot as well, working together, Goal 17, on the most important issues to fix, and positive impacts to boost. These partnerships aim to level the playing field for sustainability and the impact roadmap. Brian Trelstad gives marketing and fair trade as examples of process impact. A global, mature, scaled industry. Buy one give one, BOGO models are marketing too. With premium products, sharing the wealth, at scale. A business takes their core business product and marketing expertise to create access for underserved. Examples: Warby Parker gave 5 million pairs of spectacles to school-age children in the USA. Via their teachers, who spot sight issues first. In emerging markets, Warby organizes basic eye exams and sells ultra-affordable glasses. Bombas provided 10 million pairs of socks to homeless people, what they most want and ask for. Tom's Shoes gave 95 million pairs of shoes to vulnerable kids. Typical premium products, and the entrepreneurs use their premium margins for the underserved. In the links you will find in Hamby's article on cause-related marketing. 3 examples of systemic change. The sharing economy saves on natural resources. We don't all have to own items such as books, tools, cars, clothes. But share, via specialty shops, tech platforms and services such as Uber or Bolt. The circular economy saves on resources, with no waste, as all parts are used to create new value. Repair, reuse, up, down and recycling. And refurbishing, of older models, updating and redistributing. Not just mobile phones, also high-tech medical equipment. Unlike the linear economy, which takes, makes, disposes. The regenerative economy takes circularity one step further, no extraction of new materials, and adding positive impact. A solar farm also farms biodiversity, keeping panels cooler, more efficient with plants for insects. A company retains staff by constantly boosting their skills and interests. An example building on impact tech, blockchain for fair trade. Impact innovators aim to build a blockchain-based platform that will bridge producers in developing nations with buyers around the world to facilitate fair trade, promote sustainable development, and educate people about responsible, ethical, and inclusive ways of doing business. Components of the platform are a marketplace for producers, blockchain-based traceable certification for each produce, dispute resolution system governed by the community, and an education platform. Blockchain will make traceable certification much cheaper, thus fair trade products more affordable, maybe even a bargain buy and do away with the premium price for consumers, but not for producers, as the extra costs for impact quality and assessments will shrink. I have added the impact P's as dimensions to this technique as factors to plan, do, check, and react to. The I create summary of the PDCA cycle goes. What is it? A 4-step management method, used for the control and continuous improvement of processes and products. How is it implemented? Plan your innovation design. D is rollout. Check, study what actually happens. Act, respond to your findings. This goes as much for your prototype as taking it to market. Success factors, it is suitable for complex and changing environments that need an initial solution relatively quickly, for which there exist resources for continual improvement. Better planet impact is using natural resources with prudence and integrate depletion and other effects in the business model and price. You may think you do not use natural resources, apart from your coffee, tea, and smoothies. But you will certainly use energy, water, space, equipment, etc., if only to charge your laptop and for your caffeine boost. Question: can you think of a planet impact innovation? Is it aiming for good, better, less harm, or no harm impact? What about the net impact? How about availability and affordability? What about the other impact P's? Paradigm, place, product, process, and prosperity. Stop the video to think about the answers. These are the planet goals, with some targets and indicators. Global Goal 13, first target 13, strengthen resilience and adaptive capacity to climate-related hazards and natural disasters in all countries. A Global Goal 14 indicator, the indices of coastal eutrophication, that means to many nutrients such as algae and floating plastic debris density. Global Goal 15, protect, restore, and promote sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystems, sustainably manage forests, combat desertification, and halt and reverse land degradation and halt biodiversity loss. Question: did you recognize the impact types? Emissions of large polluters were investigated for decades by scientists, industries, governments, and activists to support protection of people, the environment, and effective regulation. 20 years ago, the Carbon Disclosure Project, CDP, was launched, focusing on carbon emission data of a few hundred big companies serving 35 investors, encouraging standardized data to assess sustainability and financial risks. Today, they also work with cities and regions, and over 10,000 parties deliver impact data. The CDP now also works on climate change, greenhouse gas emissions, and water use for 573 investors, and on forest for 290 investors. An investor-led initiative showing how companies are managing carbon emissions reduction, energy efficiency, and make positive returns on investment. CDP data is integrated in the new international sustainability standards. A real-world example of life cycle impacts: a bakery uses natural ingredients, preservatives, additives, and colorants and organic fertilizers. Packs responsibly. Saves on energy and introduces renewable energy. Distributes locally using low-carbon transport. Employing an inclusive, diverse workforce. This example was inspired by a case study by TruePrice.org, a Dutch social enterprise analyzing true cost of production. TruePrice looked at a bakery, Van Vessem. It found that its bread has a true cost of 7 compared to 15 for conventional bread. The difference is explained by two main drivers: transport and chemical fertilizer. Local bread avoids the higher impact of imported bread. The bakery uses less manure fertilizer per hectare to keep the external cost low. Supermarkets sell average bread, baked with imported ingredients and conventional agricultural methods. There are many planet, environment innovation techniques and tools. IDEO, the Innovation Gurus and the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, assembled an elaborate circularity innovation toolbox including regeneration. Their Action, Innovation-Oriented Circular Design Guide, offers 28 methods, organized around Understand, Define, Make, Release, and Advanced. This checklist is an extra aid to determine impacts during the life cycle by adding impact types. Include quantity, severity, for example by using terms such as small, medium, large. We often think primarily of basic manufacturing industries in life cycle assessment. But in our complex economies, it is not just about direct planet impacts. The service life cycles looks at the service strategy, service design, service transition, service operation, and continual service improvement. In the links you will find the UN Environment Programme's Social Life Cycle Assessment. Scan your Ps across the impact types, see which ones stand out. No, low, medium, high may be disruptive. An example, hydrogen, energy created by splitting water into hydrogen and oxygen. A renewable natural resource and its emission, water. Do good, green hydrogen, produced, stored and distributed with renewable energy. Do better, hydrogen with renewable technologies in the mix. Do less harm, hydrogen produced with low carbon electricity. Do no harm, hydrogen based on a filthy fossil fuel. Impact Ps. Paradigms, the disruptive innovations fixing bottlenecks in the hydrogen life cycle. Product, green and gray hydrogen are better. Place, developed markets can afford to transition to greener hydrogen faster. Process, the needed technologies and hydrogen applications offer plenty impact tweaking opportunities. Stop the video to think about the answers. Question, the impact Ps support optimizing the impact of innovations. True, efficient impact innovation integrates all impact Ps to boost their impact potential and proposition. Question, the impact of Trelstad's Ps are more important for impact optimization than profitability and prosperity. False, all Ps are equally important although their impact is probably not equally shared. It is all about tailored impact. For a natural resource-based product the planet and process Ps are prioritized, but for a high human capital service process and place can be catalysts. But without profitability and prosperity, impact innovations will perish. Question, innovating for impact requires rigorous assessment of the relevance of impact Ps of innovations. True, assessing is key for net impact, costs and revenues, frugality, availability and affordability to scale as a bargain buy. The business process is infinite, very challenging. But a process impact innovation, whether internal or external, can be marketed as a product or service improvement. Planet impact and life cycle thinking have accelerated impact innovation and investing. And don't forget to think about accessibility of your impact innovation. But first, have a break. Optimize your impact by thinking, tweaking, researching and collecting data on the impact Ps. Then balance the costs of the 5 impact Ps with their effects on profit and prosperity. Yep, that sounds easier than it is, but new technologies as big data assessment and algorithms will help us figure out the big picture. For now, use readily available data from credible sources. And of course your common sense and get started. We looked at beer and impact types before. This is your recap of the impact Ps for beer, with a tailored bonus P for packaging, part of process, with Planet Impact. Do you think beer companies acted responsibly, actively introducing healthier beer? Or did they focus on growing their markets and selling more beer? What about their place-based growth? Creating jobs, but do they pay a living wage? Are they inclusive? Do they pay local farmers fair prices? On Planet Impact, beer companies did better, inspired by the efficient, high water-saving standards set by Heineken. A case, the impact types and PS of vaccines. They save lives with prevention, and during the pandemic, has the paradigm, stopping short and long-term negative health and well-being effects, and restarting economies. Do good impact by avoiding infection, health complications and death, and making other impact types interventions unnecessary. Its impact Ps, paradigm, better mRNA vaccines and rapid global rollout. Products, bargain buys, traditional and cheap at $3 and premium priced at €20. Boosting access, affordability and availability. The process, open access to corona DNA research and trials. And vaccine production was pre-financed, nationally, by the EU and for COVAX in developing countries. Place impact, the focus on vulnerable people, medical caretakers and pandemic outbreak areas. Negative planet impact, high environmental impact, from freezing. Adding the impact Ps as attributes should improve impact efficiency, balancing profit and prosperity should support scaling. Attribute listing on iCreate. What is it? Taking an existing product or system, break it into parts, identify various ways of achieving each part, simultaneously generating many ideas. How is it implemented? Identify attributes of a process or product, and ways to improve one or many of them. They include parts, properties, qualities or design elements. Success factors and do's and don'ts. iCreate gives an elaborate list of rather technical dimensions, features for the table, weight, rust resistance, length, size, color, water resistance, materials, style, durability, shock resistance, heat tolerance, explosiveness, flammability, aroma, translucence, buoyancy, hangability, rechargeability, flexibility, malleability, compressibility. List impact types advantages, add quality and quantity and global goals. Overlap means synergy, but paradoxes are warning signs of neutralizing or undermining interactions. Arrange as positive and negative impact sets. Then assess. Next, create memory cards, duo sets with best and worst case scenarios. For scaling potential and negative impact risks. Assess again. Then make duo card sets with most frugal, cheap and high-tech solution. For impact, cost efficiency and bargain buys. Assess some more. Play the games to get your eureka idea. Checks. Is your impact innovation relevant for the core activity? Or a global issue, problem? Is it a game changer? For basic needs? Or access to it? For underserved people? For the process, from production to getting it to market? For the planet? Or is it a small part, big impact solution? Is it frugal? A simple, cheap impact innovation? Can you scale? Does it boost availability and affordability? Can you market it as a bargain buy? You did it. Now you know how to optimize impact and impact cost efficiency. Balancing the impact Ps is tough. To scale your impact, keep the critical questions in mind to assure access. Is frugal? Is it available? Is affordable? Is accessible? Is it marketable as a bargain buy? In the next part of the course we will do a deep dive in contributing to the global goals. Assuring access, availability and affordability comes third in importance in contributing to the global goal. Professors Bob Eccles, Johnny Betty and Constanza Consolandi benchmarked the sustainability standards on global goal contribution. For sectors and subsectors, so you will know which business to innovate for. And please fill in our evaluation form to share your course experience, thoughts and suggestions. On the need to know parts, the business cases, the global goals, targets and indicators, the quizzes, checklists and decision tree and the Fun2Do Innovation Techniques. Which is your favorite? The link to the evaluation form is on the last slide. An overview of the parts. We started with impact effectivity and then worked on optimizing impact cost efficiency. Your impact mode is your higher contribution to the global goals, compared to fellow impact innovations. The impact business model boosts your impact when going to market. Investibility gives you an impact pitch deck to convince partners and funders. Please fill in the feedback form, link on the last slide, and get part 2, Optimizing Impact. In 5 posts it's or as an ebook. For sparring on Impact Innovation's Investibility, contact Al Kane at Investible Impact Innovations at yahoo.com. For group or thematic trainings and workshops, contact Manu at thegreensprint.com. We pledge to help innovators understand impact effectivity, optimize impact cost efficiency and impact moat, make their impact solutions available, affordable, and scalable, boost impact in the impact business model, and build a tailored impact pitch deck for marketing and funding. This is the first references page, with John Elkington's article on People Planet Profit or the triple bottom line 25 years later and the need for the prosperity P instead of trade-offs. Brian Trelstad's article in the Harvard Business Review, and Charles Ledbetter's book The Frugal Innovator, Change on a Shoestring. As always, the SASB Standards and Materiality Finder. This is the second references page, with the articles by Silos and Mayer on Scaling Impact, and Eric Bainhocker and Nick Hanauer on Societal Solutions and New Capitalism. The iCreate website with innovation techniques. Dr. Edward de Bono's oeuvre on creative lateral thinking. Matt Ridley, former House of Lords member, his book How Innovation Works and the Economics of It. And David Rowan's book Non-Booslet Innovation. This is the first links page, with a free ebook by Jan Jonker and Niels Faber, Organizing for Sustainability, Developing New Business Models. Links to Novartis, the SASB Standards, a Bill Gates video, Porter's Force Fields and Azuri Pay Go Solar's contribution to the global goals. This is the second links page, with the Immunization Financing Facility for the Global Alliance on Vaccination, Circle of Opportunity, Holbake, Sama and Lend a Hand, Mesofinance. This is the third links page, with Fair Trade, BOGO, Blockchain, the Carbon Disclosure Project, True Price Circular Design and Life Cycle for Services, Hydrogen and Attribute Listing. This is the link to your feedback form and your incentive. A summary of optimizing impact in 5 posts. It's worth this part as an ebook.